Hip Hop Connection.
It's Meraf from the Voice of America's Hip Hop Connection, live from Washington, D.C. Today I am excited because we have a special guest in the studio today, Mr. Kenny Lattimore.
Yes.
Hi, Kenny.
It is great to be here.
It is so wonderful to have you here. Thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
back. It's been a while, right?
Yeah, it's been a while, and this is home, so it's
Right.
good to be here and just here with you.
Oh, yeah. The pleasure is all mine. So you are from the Washington, D.C. area.
Yes.
And where are you currently living here? Or
I currently live in Los Angeles. I've been out there for a number of years, since the beginning of my music career. Actually, it's so funny. I went out there to do a song with a major producer, Keith Crouch, and he was working with Whitney Houston at the time, I think. And the time that it took for him I had to wait in line. That's really okay. I'm trying to figure out a nice way to say it, but I had to wait in line.
All right.
But waiting in line meant staying in Los Angeles,
Okay.
and I got acclimated with the city, and it ended up being a cool place for me in the transition of beginning my career, being in that Hollywood movie and television land as well. It was good opportunities there.
Right. Totally different world than D.C.
Yeah, which I love home though. But,
Right.
but
You gotta
had
love
to do
DC.
the entertainment thing.
Absolutely. So being as though you grew up in the Washington, D.C. area, what was it like as far as your musical influences from the
Wow.
district?
It was really about the soul music of Aretha Franklin and Stevie Wonder and Shaka Khan and even Chuck Brown.
Absolutely.
We recently just lost. May he rest in peace. And I have prayers that my prayers personally go out to his family. But I remember busting loose as a kid, loose, the elementary school, and just loving go-go, and which was a definite influence of mine. I haven't done my first go-go song yet.
We would love to get a Kenny Lattimore go-go thing going on in 2012.
I got to figure out the right collab to
Right.
the people that can. I don't know. There's got to be a smooth edit, but actually, see, if Chuck was here, he would have known how to do it.
Absolutely.
Because
the
he
Godfather.
took that,
he would have been the only one who would know how to
he
do
would have
it.
known because he knew how to take the sophistication of great melodies, and I mean, he even took jazz and remade Moody's mood and stuff like that, go-go style, and it was amazing. So
Chuck Brown, what a great, tremendous loss for the DC area. We were actually talking about losses before we came into the studio. It's been so many, right?
It's been a lot this year.
Yeah.
And it started with the Whitney Houston for me. Well, Etta James was a little bit before that too,
Absolutely.
actually. But the Whitney Houston one was crazy for me because I was with her the couple nights before I hosted the Kelly Price party with
That's
Faith
so
Evans.
insane. I didn't know you were hosting that. So you were with her the last time she was seen before
last time,
she passed away.
And that was, she was beautiful and so bright, and it just, wow, it was devastating hearing the news, because I was like, no, that's just another rumor, you know, especially when you were just with someone and then they're gone. But a huge influence of mine. I was such a huge fan and had the opportunity to work with her several times, and this has been quite a year.
It has
Donna
been
Summers
quite a year.
and just it's been a lot. So.
It has been a lot. Before we move on to a brighter subject,
Brighter things. So, yep.
What is your fondest memory with Whitney Houston?
Fondest memory was, I would say, one of the first times meeting her, because I got a chance to sing in tribute to her.
Wow.
Through the Soul Train Awards.
Okay.
And I remember the after party, and everybody was hanging out, and she just was like, she gave these great hugs, and she just said, "You can sing." And hearing that from Whitney Houston, I was like, "You are the voice."
Right.
She's like, "Oh, thank you." She had a great energy about her,
She
and
seemed like she had a good energy.
I just loved how she embraced me, because she didn't have to. Everybody's different. Especially when you get to that level of popularity.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Like so many losses this year, but
Yeah.
let's transition on to brighter
absolutely.
things.
And we will our prayers for all of their families.
Absolutely. We live on through their music.
Yes,
or they live
that's
on
true.
through their music.
Absolutely.
So yeah, back to Kenny Lattimore music.
Yes.
I have a serious question that I need to ask you.
Okay.
Like, when God grants me my Prince Charming and I get married, is there any way I can get a Kenny Lattimore to come to my wedding and sing for you?
Sure. Let me see where my business card is here.
Okay.
No,
How
I
many
do
people
sing at
ask
weddings.
you that? Like, I can't think of how many weddings I've been to and that song has been played. So, like, how often do people ask you, Kenny Lattimore, can you hook me up for my wedding?
All the time. You'd be surprised. But a lot of it has to do with scheduling more than oh, you can't afford me, or I'm too busy for you. You know, I
Okay.
think when you do a song like Never Too Busy, then you can't be too busy for people. So you got to
Right,
live up to
right,
your songs.
right.
Right? So I have done the song for Carmela Anthony and Lala's wedding. I sang for
Okay.
them. I sang for Tia Mowry and Corey Herdrick, and I sang for so many celebrities. When Rick Fox and Vanessa Williams got married years ago, I
you
was
sang at their
I was a
wedding
surprise. I'm a
too?
surprise a lot of times for people.
Okay.
But and I have sung at just people's weddings because I could.
Right.
And it was almost like, okay, what's on the schedule? And if it wasn't too much, in terms of the physical taxing in doing it, I love it. I'm very much an advocate of marriage and love, and that's what I do.
Okay, I know, and that is what you do, and you do
So
it
you
well.
call me.
I will.
Thank
Hope
you.
I'm not. I mean, let's not hold our breaths because
Right.
it's not happening anytime soon. But
No
when it
prospects?
does,
Okay, we have to talk about that.
When it does, I'm gonna holler at you. But until then, can we get a special song request for you?
Sure.
if
So this
possible?
is for everybody who's hoping and aspiring for this kind of love.
For you, I'd give a lifetime of stability. Anything you want of me. Nothing is impossible for you. There are no words or ways to show my love, or all the thoughts I'm thinking of. 'Cause this life is no good alone. Since we've become one, I made a change, and everything I do now makes sense. All the roads end, and all I do is for you. For you, I share the cup of love that overflows, and anyone who knows us knows that I would change all faults I have for you. There is no low or high or in between of my heart that you haven't seen. 'Cause I share all I have and am. Nothing I've said's hard to understand, and all I feel deeper still, and always will. See, all this love is for you. Every note that I sing, every word I might say, every melody I feel is only for you and your appeal. Every page that I write, every day of my life would not be filled without the things that my love for you now brings. For you, I'd make a promise of fidelity now and for eternity, and no one could replace this vow for you. I'd take your hand and heart and everything and add to them a wedding ring. See, this life is no good alone. Since we've become one, you're all I know. And if this feeling should leave, I die. And here's why, 'cause all I am is for you. Everything I do now, it makes sense. And all roads then, all I do is for you.
Whoa, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I feel really cool sitting right here and having you sing that. Like, I really appreciate that. That was really beautiful. What a lovely
Thank you.
song.
I appreciate
That is why people ask you to sing that at their weddings. Okay, so you recently began your own record company called Sincere Soul Records. Talk about that.
Kind of born out of necessity. I really never wanted a label before. So can't even front and be faking. Oh yeah, I always had this dream and it came to pass. As much as my dream was to sing.
Right.
And I was like, well, what helps to facilitate this? But me taking control of the business so that creatively I can continue to do the music that I really want to do. But I'm very, very grateful because my partners in this is EMI Records and Capitol Records. So they're helping me to market and promote and distribute the music. So that part has been a blessing because I always dealt with major labels in the past.
Right.
And a lot of people were saying, well, Kenny, why don't you just do your own independent thing?
Right.
In general, in a way, this is independent, but I wanted the touches of the major labels and the there's a power in relationships and the staffing and the support that having Capitol Records with me and EMI makes me feel at home. Like this is what I'm used to. So when it was time to come here, I could make a call and their staff would put it together and make sure I was taken care of and that I made it.
Okay. What was the push that made you want to open your own record company? Is it because the way the industry has changed and with the digital aspect of it, and you just wanted to take control of it?
A lot of it, because R&B is still very much alive and powerful, love music. And I think the industry seemed to be drifting away from it. So it's almost like a new formula. Because I'm not the only artist doing this, but I'm really just, really broadcasting it more, that artists like Jill Scott, Tyrese, Tamia, Eric Benet, we all have done deals similar to this. Jill's at a different label, but or with a different distributor. But it's really, I think, the way for we artists to take our time, control what we're doing and what we're giving, so the product remains in the same quality that we've been giving as well. Because sometimes when you're with larger companies, we understand that as business people that there's a bottom line. And sometimes there are people who are not necessarily creative people that tend to lend their opinions in terms of your creative decisions. And that gets kind of tough sometimes when it's like, well, Usher has this song out right now and it's huge, so maybe we should get Kenny Lattimore to sing a song like Usher's. And it's like, wait a minute, but Usher is Usher. And Kenny is Kenny, right? So those kinds of things, I think, get confusing when you're making a product and you're doing business. Where when Kellogg's is doing cereal, I mean, sometimes you experiment, but whatever your brand is, you want to make sure that you're surrounded with people who really understand your brand and have no problem promoting it and maybe like your brand too. Because sometimes you're with companies that don't necessarily like your brand.
No. It's all about the money. And
it's about, well, maybe he can sell this many records, and if he sells that many, then we're okay with it. And that ends it. But when you understand that your brand may be deeper, you need a different type of commitment. So a lot of the artists are taking those business reins into their own hands so that they can promote their music beyond. Because again, when was the last time you heard Jill Scott on a major have, how many singles did she put? Like 5 singles have come out from her latest CD. She was able to do that because she's the owner of that label.
I love that CD. I love Hear My Call. It's my favorite song on there. Anyways.
Love it too,
you guys are some amazing, like, talented, classic R&B singers. And I just wanted to ask you, what did you think of the R&B that's being played on radio today? Because it's quite different than the era of the classic R&B singers like the Tamias and the the Kenny Lattimores and the Jill Scotts and So, like, what are your thoughts on not only just the production of music today on radio, but like the lyrics?
Yeah, some of the production I really like. I think lyrically, even, there's nothing new under the sun. When we were coming up, I'm sure there were songs and artists that our parents were like, "Oh my gosh, you're listening to that?
Right.
What do you listen to?" And we don't get it. And we were like, "We love it." When I think about Prince when he first came out, oh my gosh, people were like, "Is it satanic?
Yeah.
Is it too sexual?
Yeah.
Is it too?" You
Yeah.
got all these different extremes about music and its evolution. When I listen to the music today, I have to say, well, it reflects the life and times of its people. So I applaud the young people that are learning how to express themselves and write songs and establish distinctive voices, because that was the part that I was used to back in the day. Nobody sounded alike.
Right.
So for artists to be distinctive in this day and age, they really, really have to shine. They really have to push through. So you have artists, like Miguel, who's out there, and Wale doing their thing. Wale from DC, he's from DC too.
Yes, he is.
And
Lots of
and
talent
just
here.
pushing through, pushing the envelope. And being creative in terms of their production. I mean, there are lots of people out there that are doing great music. But what I'm hoping is that they will continue to evolve and become even more distinctive, where, 15, 20 years from now, when we hear their voices or their songs, that we'll be able to say, yes, that's Miguel.
Yeah.
Yes, that's Lloyd.
Yeah.
Yes, that's, whoever, Drake and Wayne and everybody else that's out.
Yeah.
So.
Well, hopefully they will.
Yeah. I think that
because there's just like a certain formula that people are
and some
using
of
that
it's
works.
not their fault.
It's not. It's the major label's fault. And
Yeah.
they're using a certain type of formula to work for radio and push the brand. But
and that's the part that nobody talks about. I'm so glad that you said it even that way, because hopefully our general listener will begin to understand that.
Yeah.
Because I know that satellite and there's different formats of radio that are expanding now because of that, that short playlist. But I think that, they're doing what they need to do to survive.
Right.
Hate it.
Yeah,
because there was a time
Yeah.
when, you could hear almost anything, any style on the radio. We weren't broken up into age genres, race genres. It was just great music. So I probably was on the end of that, to be very honest. When I came out was probably the end of that era. And I'm very happy that I was able to go through it. I was the end of the big spending era in the music industry. And it may come back, who knows, but it will be different.
It will be different.
With us being in the digital age and all of that. But I remember when it was like, oh, what do you need? We're going to send that limo. We're going to send you at the Four Seasons. We're going to spend thousands of dollars on your wardrobe because you have to do a television appearance tomorrow.
Right.
And all those numbers start adding up, and you don't even realize that it's adding up. So we know that some of that had to be cut out. And as a record company owner now, I always understood the game because I've been in it for a really long time.
Right.
I started as a teen with my mother managing me. But the new artists that are coming in, please, when you're listening to this, we do not become rich and famous overnight.
No.
And the rich part really it rarely comes, actually. But if it does come, it usually comes way later. You do become very famous, and you have the opportunity to expose your giftings and your craft. But
tread
doing
lightly.
what you have to do. I'm sorry, say that again.
No, I said tread lightly is what you're saying.
Tread lightly.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these artists, again, they're doing what they have to do. And hopefully in their live shows, you'll see more dimension. That's what I really need to do. I need to go and see some of these people live to see if there's more depth
Right.
than what we just hear on the radio.
Right. Depth. Yeah. For those that are not using autotune.
Right. Oh, right. Exactly.
Anyways, speaking of evolving, you have this new album that's coming out, Back to Cool.
Back to Cool.
I'm just wondering, the last couple of albums you dropped, you did with your ex-wife, Shantae Moore, you had a couple of cover CDs. Then you had Timeless that came out, which was your last CD, and you did a lot of cover songs as well. This is the new Kenny Lattimore coming out in 2012. You're taking us back to cool. What can we expect on this album?
Well, it's all about love. It's all about being okay with yourself after losing a relationship or losing love. I guess I do have to say, for the record, I'm not divorced.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Everybody, no. There have been some false reports out. I am going through a divorce.
Okay.
And the only reason why I say that is just respecting the transition of it, because I'm having a lot of fun and I'm meeting some really wonderful ladies. But a lot of things are not fully true. So what happens is I don't want somebody to be like, okay, he's single now, but he's kind of reserved or what have you. No, the transition is still, we're in the middle of it.
Right.
However, it's interesting. This album ended up being my life imitating the art, because I started this album maybe two and a half years ago.
Okay.
And when I started, I was looking at some of the lyrics and I was going, I haven't quite sung any songs like this before. And I said, I know these songs are true, but this guy is really, trying to figure out, finding a way to win her heart. There's a song called What Must I Do on here that has all these metaphors about a house tumbling down. I love being in danger, and I've got to figure out what I have to do to save it. And songs that are like, hey, I couldn't save it. I put my blood, sweat, and tears in this, and I couldn't. And at the end, the story just says, you know what? In spite of all that life has thrown, my heart is built to last. So it's really become like a personal statement, but it was not autobiographical by any means. So Back to Cool is going to take you on the journey of this man talking about how his relationship began and it not going as well, but him getting back to a place where he can love again.
So it's almost like art imitating life.
The opposite.
Or life imitating art.
Yeah, that's what normally it is exactly what you said. Normally, art imitates life.
Right.
But in this case, my life
was imitating
the art.
Okay.
Because it wasn't autobiographical, and I wasn't even living the lyrics of the songs until a year later. And then I was like, wait a minute, this is like prophecy or something.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have never sung these songs.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking.
You sung them to life.
No, I sung them to life. Right? No, I think that a lot of the songs, and I didn't write all of it. I did, write a few of the songs on here. But I have to say that I'm very proud of the work because it's relevant. The message is relevant, and I'm meeting a lot of people that are going through divorces, that are going through relationship changes. And I guess I have more to say than I did before, like the fact that in marriage, one of the biggest things that I learned is you don't really, to me, to have a successful marriage, you don't commit to a person. I know that sounds kind of weird, but you commit more to a commitment. You commit to the commitment and what marriage is, because people let you down. People will always let you down. And if you commit to a person and for them to be a certain way and to, these are my deal breakers and this is what my thing is, 9 times out of 10, you're going to reach that deal breaker.
Right.
But if you're committed to the commitment, then you will begin to respect the process of every human being's life and their growth and their maturing, so that it can last over periods of time. And of course, I'm saying that gingerly as well, because there's no reason for disrespect in terms of abuse and all those kind of things. Sometimes you got to get on out of relationships.
Yeah.
I don't care what they are. But I always try to give a message that is positive, because I've seen it work. The commitment of marriage, the commitment of love, the commitment of even friendship.
Right.
I've seen it work very well.
Right.
I have like lifelong friends from 9 years old.
Yeah.
I have junior high school and middle school friends that I am still very close with today.
Yeah. It's always refreshing to hear that. My parents have been married almost 30 years. So.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
that
it's a beautiful thing. But I like what you said. You stay committed to the vows, not necessarily the person.
Yeah. Because people are, we're human and we're flawed, and it could be anything one day. It could be real stuff like, oh, he cheated on me and whatever, to people argue about what you're squeezing the toothpaste. Why are you squeezing the toothpaste from the middle when I clearly have set it up from the end? Now we have to have separate toothpaste
because it was like 5 inches too deep.
Yep, it's too deep. I mean, and it really there are details like that really drive you crazy.
Yeah, it's reality. Yeah.
Yeah, and people know that going in. You don't enter into marriage lightly. You enter in. But I had a wonderful time in that relationship. Beautiful, very talented. Shantae Moore is amazing, and I wish her the best. And
you guys
I'm
have a
just
beautiful
looking
son.
We have a great 9-year-old son, and he's amazing, singing and dancing and everything. But I guess it had to. It's in his blood.
It's in his blood, both
in
ends.
his genes, right?
Right.
So maybe you'll hear something from him.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
At some point.
That'd be wonderful.
He likes to go on stage with me a lot of times.
Oh, really?
So I'm like, come on, son, let's get up here.
How old is he?
He's 9.
Okay.
He just turned
Wow.
9.
Well, much love to you and Shantae Moore. I was a
Thank you.
fan. I am a fan of both of you. And
Thank
you guys
you.
were like
Thank
the
you.
cutest couple. And
Thanks.
before the Beyonce and Jay-Z, it was like the Kenny Lattimore and the Shantae Moore. But you know what? Yeah, much love and respect to both of you.
I
and
appreciate that.
your new journeys.
Yeah, yep. I
always
appreciate it.
exciting
And
to
there's going to be
start
some
something
new
new.
stories told.
Yeah.
And hopefully new encouragement will come.
Speaking of news stories, your first single, Find a Way.
Find a
Kenny,
Way.
whose heart are you trying to find a way to?
Well, now,
Today.
it's interesting. I relate to this particular song and the message, even from the standpoint of when you're going through tough times, because ultimately that's what you know that there's a depth and there's a difference between women and men. Mm-hmm. And when I say depth, I was thinking an emotional depth that women have that we don't generally express and understand. Mm-hmm. The emotions of women. As men, we don't. And then on the opposite side, for men, there is a respect thing that women don't totally understand how respect affects a man. As a matter of fact, we equate respect to love.
Men
do, yes.
Okay.
Men equate respect to love.
Okay.
Meaning you could give a man, and this is not every man, there's no one thing for everybody.
Okay.
But you could give a man flowers and romance and all kind of other stuff forever. Mm-hmm. Even the sex, you could give him all that forever, and he'd be like, yeah, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Yes, love it.
Okay.
However, loving a man, baby, I got your back.
Okay.
I don't care. No matter what, I'm behind you and I got your back. Changes the whole game for us.
Right.
It's a whole different, there's something different for us. Whereas for a woman is, you don't have to do all that big stuff. You just don't. You don't have to just write a little note on a piece of paper that just says, I love you, baby, today, and you are the best.
Right.
It doesn't even have to be long.
The
just,
simplest
I love you,
gestures.
something simple, and it touches your emotion. And a lot of times we don't know that. And it's a journey, but it probably takes a whole lifetime for us to master it.
Figure it out.
So finding a way is really about that mastering.
Okay.
Finding a way to win her heart,
Right.
because her heart is tied to her emotion and other things too in her experience. But finding a way to win her heart, her trust, and her love is something that it takes a minute to learn.
Takes a
and
rocket
master.
scientist. I'm just kidding.
It takes some amazing communication.
Yeah, it does. It
and
does.
a very open mind and heart
Right.
to be a receptive to learning it.
Yeah, it's different strokes for different folks. I guess
It
it
is.
depends on the person and
Yeah.
how much you got to show and
And it takes a
express that to.
sacrifice. A lot of
It
times we
does.
don't talk about the sacrifice.
We don't.
That's what this song is about, sacrifice. Putting you over here and saying, okay, let me focus on the one that I love and figure this thing out.
All right. Well, can we get into finding the one you want?
Okay.
Song's called Find a Way. It's Kenny Lattimore on the Voice of America's Hip Hop Connection.
This ain't no game, no trophy you win, no contest rules to box you in. Girl, you're more than that to me. You're the Michelle to my dream. No rush, no stress, why worry, fear? I chill, won't push, no pressure here. There's nothing wrong with waiting for something so amazing, girl. I gotta find a way to win your, find a way to win your heart, girl. Find a way to win your, find a way to win your, find a way to win your trust, girl. Find a way to win your, find a way to win your, find a way to win your love. I gotta find a way, no matter what it takes, girl. I gotta find a way. Your lips, your face, your feet, your hair, the way you speak, intelligent And baby girl, I'm listening. You got my full attention, yeah. Your style, your grace, your elegance, you must have been made by his hand, a natural beauty. I'm hoping that you choose me. Ooh. Find a way to win you, find a way to win you, find a way to win your heart, girl. Find a way to win you, find a way to win you, find a way to win your trust, girl. Find a way to win you, find a way to win you, find a way to win your love. I gotta find a way, no matter what it takes, girl. I gotta find a way, 'cause I know money can't buy you, and I would never try to buy my way into your heart. But if you let me play my part, love can be reborn. See, you've been torn and scorned, baby, it's been so long. Love has been so obsolete. See, the opposition made you weak, but I'm here to find a way. Oh, find a way, yeah, 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 yeah. Find a way to win your heart. I gotta find a way, no matter what it takes. Oh girl, I gotta find a way, yeah. Ooh, ooh, just talk to me, baby. Ooh, ooh, yeah. I gotta find a way, and ooh, I'm searching, oh, I gotta find a way, no matter what it takes, girl. I gotta find a way, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kenny Lattimore, Find a Way. Woo, ladies. This is difficult. I'm sitting here with my composure, like trying to maintain. Yeah, that was a beautiful song.
Thank you. So that's what we got to do, fellas. We got to
find a way,
find
right?
a way.
You got to find a way. Speaking of fellas and emotions and stuff like that, you're one of those cool artists that's in touch with your emotions with your music, right?
Yes, and I have to say I'm really a regular guy.
Okay.
So when I say that, the same things that everybody struggles with is what I struggle with.
Right.
But yeah, I think the music helps me, and hopefully it helps others. And then I do try to be a self-examiner, so that I'm constantly growing to and looking at myself in the mirror and saying, okay, Kenny, the things that I haven't mastered, I will still sing.
Right.
Because I believe in the truth in it.
Absolutely.
The authenticity of that.
Yeah, it's all about authenticity. And I say that to say, like, kids these days are not as in touch with their emotions, especially guys in like 2012. Yes. It's like all about thug life, and half the time they're pump faking from the suburbs, screaming that thug life stuff, right? So you have an artist who's like multi-talented like Drake. He's a rapper, a singer, an actor, and he switches his style up. Sometimes he's going hard, and then sometimes he's like really emotional, whether it's on his social networks or within his music. And sometimes people try to frown on him about that. Like, what do you say to people who
one-dimensional?
Yeah.
I think when you have the outlet, this is a very unique platform to have, to be able to speak to the world through your music, and then also be able to have the media to speak with. And I think people want to have other people figure it out. And we're just more complex than we give credit. Men and women are more complex than what we see on television and what they're portraying. So, and Jill Scott was talking about it the other day. I mean, one day we see her and she's talking about Long Walk and all those things, but then she starts to sing in an operatic tone and she starts talking about Kathleen Battle. I think that we've got to embrace the diversity of who we are.
Right, from both spectrums, men and women.
Absolutely, men and women.
It's crazy because, like women sometimes have a problem with men just being too hardcore and not as, in tune with their emotions like women are. And then you have men who are in tune with their emotions, and then women are just like, that's too
much. It's too much.
That's too,
But you know what? I think it all is reality. Most of the men that are hard thugs, if you will. The only thing that's not happening is maybe they're not speaking about their emotions.
Right.
The emotions are still there. Their hurts are still there. However they grew up as kids and why they have become who they've become is
Right.
all still there. But we as men are just not taught to talk about it. So I don't sit here with, well, let's talk about our emotions. And Mr. Will Woo on guitar, ladies
Oh,
and
yes,
gentlemen.
off the
Phenomenal.
hook. Great job. And I love your shoes.
But that's just not, and that's where it starts to get like, they talking, women usually are more social where it's like, girl,
Yeah.
this is what I felt like
Yeah.
today. Now men do talk about it sometimes, but it takes a minute.
No, men do talk.
Here we go. Man, yeah, how was your day? Man, yeah, it was cool. Okay, well, no, I can hear it in your voice. Something's
Right.
Well, I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm
though.
good. I don't
all
want
right.
to talk about it.
Because you know what? There's this whole battle within self about strength and power and what that really means.
Right.
And
Some people think that showing emotion is
It's feminine.
a weakness
Yeah.
for a man. Like,
Yep.
that's not as
And we still are in
defined
a
as
society
hardcore.
that somebody, oh boy, you don't want somebody to say, well, that's gay.
Yeah.
Ooh, no homo.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
big thing that the
Yeah.
kids used to say for over the
homo,
last couple
especially
of years. No
around
homo.
here. Yeah, I know. Pause.
Yeah. And it's like, because then we're dealing with, how did emotion and sexuality have that? I mean, what in the world?
Yeah.
But we as a society I think our minds are oversexed. And as a result, we attach so much to sexuality. We attach so much to strength versus weakness that we don't allow true humanity to just exist,
Right.
so that it's healthy for the emotion to come out. But you know what has to happen is we as men now, if we get it and we're able to do something about it, we have to give our new generation of men, our little boys, something. When I kiss on my son and talk to him, I look him in the face, I look him in the eye and all that, so to be normal for him.
Right.
When he gets, and then he's all boy, real, all right, yeah, let's go. La, 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 la.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, he can say, Daddy, that hurt my feelings. What?
Yeah.
What hurt your feelings? And he can articulate at 9
That's really
whatever
mature.
he's feeling. And I didn't do that. I was very shy and definitely grew up in the era where men didn't talk
Right.
about certain things. So it comes out and it gets expressed in other areas, and sometimes it's not always healthy. So Drake having the platform to at least
Right.
show all these different sides. I mean, I'm seeing crazy stuff online about him, people in their speculations. Is he this? Is he that? But at least he is getting this stuff out for him.
Exactly.
And then when we really want the truth about whoever he is, let him tell what his truth is about himself.
Right.
Unless you're a therapist.
No, nobody's therapist. It's
Right,
a bunch of
that's
people behind a computer judging, like
Right.
on blogs
I'm judging
and
this
stuff.
because he should have never done. And sometimes people make mistakes too.
They do.
Let's give artists a pass in the media.
Yeah.
Somebody was talking to me the other day. A good friend of mine. We were looking at Joel Osteen,
Oh, okay.
and he was getting trapped up about this whole gay marriage thing. And the person was saying, I think that he's saying this and that and the other. And I said, no, from his perspective, he was very clear about whatever his position was. But then some people want you to be harder. Well, I want you to say it this way. I want you to say
Right.
it that way, because we look at these artists as ourselves.
Right.
Sometimes we're internalizing it. We're hoping that they speak for us.
Right.
And sometimes they really don't. They just don't. They're not even. It's not even fair.
Yeah, it's
because,
not.
You know.
I feel sorry for artists and celebrities in general sometimes, because it's just too much access. Like
It is.
in this day and age, it's too much access, too much scrutiny. It's too fast. It's like, they see a picture and then the judgment just runs across
is.
the media paparazzi platform. So I think it's a little bit too much. And plus with stans, like, because they have so much access to you guys, it's like they feel like they have ownership within your
Absolutely.
life. Like,
yeah, that they're rights.
Yeah.
Oh no, we have celebrity rights. You got to tell us
Yeah.
the whole truth and nothing but the
Right.
truth, and you got to tell them like
Right.
we're on a witness stand.
Right, and it's not
Constantly,
fair. It's
yeah.
not fair. But then again, it's like they've followed your career from start to finish, and they feel like,
They're a part of you.
keep it real. Like,
Right.
tell me.
But and I think the biggest fear is we hold on to truths
Mm-hmm.
and things in our lives, thinking that if I say this, my fans are going to go away.
Right.
If I say that and if I express everything, that they're not going to like me, because everybody doesn't love you. And they're not going to. I think that was one of the lessons that I had to learn. My aunt said that to me when I was first coming out with Never Too Busy. She said, you know what? She encouraged me first. She said, you look great in this video. You're handsome. I think your song is good and you're going to be this. But everybody's not going to love you. And I stopped for a minute. You know, hearing that as a young artist, you had to take that in and take a deep breath. But she was right. And it helped me to develop some thick skin because I'll never forget being in a parade and thousands of people out waving. And out of all the thousands of people, I saw one person look at me and I could read her lips. And she said, I do not like him.
How did you read that out of all those people?
I can't even explain it. But it's almost like when you have that a million fans that tweet or whatever, and then that one person says, they can't even sing. What? And you remember that one negative comment, and it sticks with you. And I think that's another way that we're made as humans, that when people get into any creative business where you survive based on people liking you to a degree, young people have to know that it's okay for everybody to have different opinions.
Yes.
And not share just one because it can destroy you. And that's what happens to a lot of kids from the childhood actors. They get on drugs and all that.
Yes.
Don't they like me anymore?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's a tough industry.
Yeah, that's why I have my own label, see.
I know, right? So you staying in your own lane and doing your own thing.
I can put my record out when I want to put it out. I don't have to worry about somebody liking me.
The record, Back to Cool, it is dropping when now?
August the 28th. It is going to be in stores. And thank everybody. The single Find a Way is on iTunes, so you can hear the regular version of it.
Okay.
Is on iTunes right now. We did really well out the gate, thanks to social media, all my Twitter and Facebook fans, everybody going to KennyLattimore.com. Because it wasn't even on radio, and thousands of singles start digitally getting downloaded.
Right, MP3s and YouTubes and links and all that stuff.
So we appreciate the love that's happening and building around this single because I guess, you know, Back to Cool means Kenny Lattimore really is back, and I'm back in my element, and taking nothing away from anything I've done in the past. I have enjoyed every project that I've done, but particularly doing Back to Cool on my label, having creative control of it and all, obviously makes a difference for this project.
Right. It's the evolution of Kenny Lattimore.
Yes, ma'am.
So, you know, I appreciate you coming by the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you both for performing for us. It's been really lovely.
Thank you so
would
much.
love to get another song, but I know you're running late.
Next time, then you got to have me back. Will you have
I
me
will.
back?
I'll
Maybe
have you
when
back when your album comes
there
out.
It is.
Okay,
Yeah. Maybe
cool.
we can get the band in here.
That would be
sometime more.
awesome. Yeah, that would be really, really cool.
We'll do that.
Before I let you go, just plug in your website and your Twitter and
KennyLattimore.com. Twitter's at Kenny Lattimore. I tried to keep the Kenny Lattimore brand very clean.
Right.
So if you go to KennyLattimore.com, you can click on both. But I did have to do official Kenny Lattimore for Facebook.
Okay.
There was some confusion out there between Kenny Lattimores for a minute. Okay. somebody was either an imposter.
Definitely an imposter.
So we got that cleared up though. So.
All right. Well, thank you both for coming by. We really appreciate it. Find Your Way is out on iTunes now.
On iTunes now and internationally, Japan, UK,
everywhere,
all that
Africa.
good stuff. Yeah.
Our brothers and sisters
everywhere. That's
Mama
right.
Africa will definitely be hearing this interview, and
can't
hopefully
wait
they will
to
cop
see
it on
you
iTunes.
all.
Yeah,
my
you got to
gosh.
come to Ethiopia, my country.
I would absolutely love to.
We would love to have you there.
Okay, we're gonna make that happen.
Yeah, we're gonna connect later after.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you.
That's it for the Hip Hop Connection right here on the Voice of America.